Hey guys, Jesse here, and today I have a special video for you all. Now, this topic was suggested by an awesome Patreon supporter of mine, and someone you've probably seen in my videos before, Zelda Rodriguez. Now, if you want to suggest topics for future videos, then you can head over to my Patreon page at patreon.com/gameoverjesse to check out all of the awesome rewards. Now, his topic for this video, he just wants to know what I hate about the Zelda series. So I thought it would be a fun and interesting video, and I would love to get all of your feedback as well. Let me know what you think of the things that I hate, and comment below and let me know all the stuff about the Zelda series that you hate. It can be something about a specific game or the series in general. I have a short list here because I don't want to make the video too long, because I think this will be a fun topic to do again in the future, so I just listed a few things. And the first is that bird in Majora's Mask that steals your stuff. You know, when you're running around Termina Field close to the swamp or the ranch, and the bird comes in, takes your rubies, takes your items or whatever, and you have to go back at a certain time at the curiosity shop and buy your stuff back. It's really annoying, and like, one of the fun things about it is because it takes so much damage and so much time to kill, when you just have a bunch of arrows and you try to kill it, and if you kill it then you get a bunch of rubies and stuff, and that's awesome. But if you run out of arrows, then you basically can't do anything early on in the game. Later on you can get light arrows and stuff that'll kill it a lot faster, but it's just really annoying. But at the same time, it was really clever. It was a nice addition to the series because there was nothing really like it before. There was things and stuff that would steal your items, but having it a bird and having it affect you in some way to where you actually have to travel back to a certain location to buy your items back, I think it was really clever, and it adds like that little additional gameplay value that was kind of missing before. Second, in a similar way, is the likes, because if you have the Hylian shield or something, or a certain weapon, rubies, it'll do the same thing the bird does. It'll take it away. It's much easier to kill though, but it just sucks, and it's so annoying when it's eating you. When I was a kid, it scared the crap out of me, and it just sucks. Like, I hate the like. You have to hit it at a certain time or else the whole thing's basically like armor, and it's just another annoying thing that you have to try to kill. It's just horrible. Third on the list is the length of time it takes for Zelda games to come out. Now, I'm a huge Zelda fan. Zelda games are probably one of the only games that I actually play. I play like every now and then Call of Duty or Need for Speed, Kingdom Hearts, stuff like that. But Zelda series and the Zelda games are really the only ones that I'm as passionate about as I am, because when I was a kid growing up, I believe the first game that I ever played was A Link to the Past. So with the Zelda series, it kind of holds a special place in my heart, and you see other games like Assassin's Creed that has huge open worlds, incredibly realistic graphics, new gameplay mechanics with each iteration of the game, and everybody loves it. So I thought, why not for a while get different studios to develop different Zelda games, like have one studio working on a remake, have another studio working on a handheld, and have a couple of studios working on home console games, because we get the remakes and we get the handheld games kind of often, but the home console games like Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, like all those games took anywhere between 4 to 6 years to come out from each other. And now with Zelda Wii U, it's looking like it's going to be 5 or 6 more years. So it just sucks. Like, can you imagine being 10, like a little kid, when you hear about a game being announced, but then you can't actually play it until you're an adult? So like, you're already 18 or you're already 20 before you can even play it. And like, a case like this is with games like The Last Guardian or Final Fantasy 15, because I don't think Zelda is that far away from doing that same thing, to where it takes a decade to come out with the game, because Zelda Wii U, it's already halfway there, and it just sucks that it's taking so long. Number 4 on the list is Zelda Ura, because the game was finished, they had everything you needed to play it, it's sitting on Miyamoto's computer, probably somewhere at a server at Nintendo. They can load up the ROM, they probably have the carts and the discs, they can just put it in an actual Nintendo 64 and play it how it was originally meant to be, but they never released it. They said that Master Quest was what they were working on, but it wasn't. That's just remixed dungeons, because Zelda Ura was supposed to add second quests. It was supposed to add in new dungeons, not just remodel old ones. It was supposed to add in a bunch of side quest items and stuff, and we didn't get that. We just got remixed dungeons. Next on the list, Zelda Wii U was delayed instead of being like most games and released, then patched to make it look better and add free DLC. Yeah, okay, so this thing is... Everybody was excited for Zelda Wii U. E3 came along, they said Zelda Wii U is going to come out, but Star Fox is going to come out first, and then Miyamoto and Aonuma, they had this back and forth going, and it was like, oh, we're getting this game this year? Oh, but before that you're getting this one, and before that you're getting this one. It was just awesome for Nintendo fans and Zelda fans. But then all the games just ended up being delayed. And Nintendo has this thing to where they'll delay a game as long as they need to, whereas other studios will release the game whenever they think it's close to being perfect, or as perfect as they can tell. But then over the course of the next year or the next few months, they'll slowly work on patches. A lot of games have day one patches to fix bugs and stuff that they didn't notice before they shipped the game out. And Nintendo doesn't really do this. They wait until the game's absolutely perfect, then release it. And honestly, if you're taking 2 extra months to find every single bug, every single glitch in the game and perfect it before you release it, as long as it's not like working on a dungeon trying to fix it or adding in side quests and stuff, if it's just polishing the game, making it look better, making sure certain glitches aren't in there, then I don't really see a point in it, because most games had glitches, and one of the best things about Ocarina of Time was the glitches, or Majora's Mask. You have the Swordless Link glitch, which they ended up trying to patch in future cartridges. And you have the Fierce Deity outside of boss dungeons and stuff, and those were the fun things about the game. So leave the glitches in, let the fans experiment, let everyone do what they want to do with the game. If you beat the game and the glitches didn't bother you that much, then you have all these things to kind of work with, trying to break the game, find out new glitches and glitch through walls, get to new areas, do side quests, missions, dungeons out of order, get items out of order. That's part of the fun after you beat the game. So if Zelda Wii U could have been released and not had that, that would have been awesome. Next on the list is lengthy intros after the first time you beat them. So Twilight Princess and somewhat Skyward Sword is notorious for this, especially Twilight Princess since it recently got an HD remake. A lot of people thought this was going to be fixed, but Twilight Princess, you really don't... Oh god, I think it's like 2 hours into the game before the game actually starts, because there's the whole fishing intro, then the first Tears of Light section, the introduction of Midna, trying to get through Hyrule Castle when you first go to the Twilight Realm, explaining why you're a wolf, all this stuff, and it's really horrible. And then the first dungeon is kind of, maybe because I've played it so many times, it's kind of tedious, kind of boring. It's a great dungeon, but when you play through it so many times, it just sucks. And in Skyward Sword, before you're actually making your way to the first dungeon, there's like all these side quests trying to find your loft wing, and it all makes sense the first time you play through it, because it's showing you all this stuff that you didn't know before, all the new gameplay mechanics. It's trying to put you on your path to beat the game. But if you look at some of the other games like A Link to the Past or the first Zelda, you're in the first dungeon almost immediately. And kind of with Ocarina of Time, like you have to get the sword and shield, but usually you can be in the Deku Tree and even out of the Deku Tree within 15 minutes if you're good at it. And then you're in Hyrule, you're on your way to conquer Ganondorf, save Hyrule and stuff. But in these games, it's just so tedious to... like even Majora's Mask for a little bit, because you have to play the game for like an hour or two until you get the ocarina and you get turned into a child again, and then you can save. And it just sucks, because it's like if you play it for an hour, hour and a half, or however long it takes, like if you're at the second day or halfway through the third day, which takes a long time if you're not using anything to speed up the time. And you have to go somewhere, you have to do something, someone else wants to play a game, you have to turn it off, eat, whatever you have to do. It sucks because now you have to do all that over again. So the lengthy intros, I just wish you could skip them after your first playthrough, or have like an option or something. Do you want to, because a lot of games do that, do you want to play through the introduction, do you want to keep going? And I think Zelda should do that. And then the next thing kind of goes back to what I was saying with the intro, but kind of all throughout Twilight Princess. The whole Tears of Light section, I really hate. I didn't really like being a wolf in Twilight Princess. It was a neat idea, it's cool, it's in that one game out of 30 years of Zelda games. There's one game where you play as Wolf Link, so it's not that bad. Because again, it's just one game out of all of them. But every time I start to play it, I'm like, oh, the Temple of Time's awesome. Lake Hylia and Twilight Princess, it's awesome. All this awesome stuff about Twilight Princess that you think about. But then when you go to play the game, and it's like, oh, another Tear of Light section. It just sucks. It's very tedious. Nintendo's seen this. They shortened it down with the HD remake. But it still sucks. So thank you, Julio, for giving me your suggestion for a topic. If anyone else has suggestions for future videos, comment below, let me know. Go to visit my Patreon page, patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can suggest ideas for future videos. Thank you all for watching, and check out some of my other videos if you want.